What's going on, everyone? My name is Snicker Catalyst, and this is probably like the 27th take of this audio file because I can't speak today for whatever reason, but this is probably going to be the most important video that I've ever made and put on my channel because, oh boy, some of y'all need to watch this video. But before we get into that, I'm going to ask all you awesome people to turn on post notifications if you haven't already. It would really help us out and also make sure that you guys miss none of our content. We know we aren't the only channel that you watch, but we want to connect with you guys as much as possible. So, raise your hands if you've ever had a bad medic experience in Battlefield 1. All of you should be raising your hands right now. Everyone has been screwed over by that medic that doesn't revive you when they're standing right next to you, or doesn't give out any health to those in need. Maybe you are that bad medic, and if you are, well then hopefully this video helps you out because this is geared towards you. As for the rest of you watching the video, welcome, glad you're here. Hopefully this video will help you get better at the medic class. But before we get into the video, I want to establish some credibility a bit, just like in my sniping tutorial video. But let me be clear about why I'm doing this, because I got a lot of unnecessary hate in that video, and admittedly the way I worded everything, I can understand why people were upset, but let me be clear right now. Let me set the record straight. This is not for me to glorify my stats. This is for me and you, the viewer, to establish some train of trust. Because you can click on any video on YouTube like mine and have someone tell you what to do, have someone tell you how to do well at the meta class, or somebody tell you how to do anything well at all. So I want you all to have complete trust in me that I know what I'm talking about, and I think it's even more important because the meta class is the most important class in the entire game. So that being said, as of the time of making this video, I'm one of the best players on PlayStation 4 with a peak rank of 13th in skill in the US, which I've had for a while now, and I'm also top 100 in score per minute with around a 2500 score per minute. And this is all in about 200 or so hours of playing. And I'm getting these stats from Battlefield 1 Tracker if you all are curious. So if you go to battlefield1tracker.com and you insert your name and what platform you play on, Battlefield Tracker will give you a complete list of your stats, including some in-depth analysis, maybe teach you guys something that I wouldn't be able to teach you, and that's how you play and how to further increase your skill at the game. So without further ado, here is how to not suck at the meta class in Battlefield 1. So there really is a lot to talk about with this class, and it's kind of overwhelming, so I guess I'll start with the role of the medic and how best to play it. Now I'm assuming that most of you watching the video care about performing well in terms of kill-death ratio and score per minute, kills per minute, etc, etc. So that's what this video is hopefully going to help you with, which is managing both the responsibilities the medic has, which is healing and medium range slaying. Now, the role of the medic isn't anything super complex when you break it down, unlike the other classes that have side responsibilities, such as the scout that has the responsibility of spotting infantry and vehicles for teammates. The medic only has one true core responsibility, and that is to keep other players alive, first and foremost. And this is, of course, apart from the universal task of all the players on the battlefield to eliminate the enemy team. The first major point I'd like to discuss is this: a living medic is the best medic. The medic class, as I said earlier, is really a class that solely revolves around reviving and healing your teammates. So that being said, you are no good to your team dead, and staying alive is really the most important thing. The main way that you will get killed as a medic in Battlefield 1 is probably going for a revive. I'd say 75% of your deaths are allocated to that, if not more. And there are a few reasons for that. Maybe the person decided to skip to respawn in your face, and now you are left in no man's land. That happens to me a lot. Maybe you did revive them and they didn't return covering fire for you. Or maybe you just went for a bad revive, and maybe you don't want to go to revives anymore because of the reasons above. So in order to give you tips to help you with this, run this theoretical situation through your mind. Say you are behind a teammate that gets killed and you can clearly see him and where he got shot from. The first thing that I'd suggest doing is signaling to him that you see him by using the medic spot feature, which is your right bumper on console, and I'm not quite sure what it is on PC, and I'm not sure that even if I gave a guess as to what it was on PC, you can map certain buttons on PC for that. So not even gonna try, but on PC, whatever that button is, figure it out. So from here you have a decision to make, and it relies upon what your teammate is going to do. This is the crucial area where you as a medic make a judgment call on whether or not to go for his revive. So in order to make the right call in this situation, after you spot the downed teammate, wait a few seconds before going to revive him, and I'll tell you why. Unless you are right on top of him, players that perhaps are new to the game or perhaps don't understand the revive system are probably going to go to respawn right in your face and get you killed. Waiting a few seconds will help you discern which type of player you are picking up. Are you picking up a competent player, or are you picking up a player that doesn't have great awareness and doesn't recognize that a medic is nearby? If you spot them and their death icon thing is flashing, that means they are immediately going to skip the revive, and you should not waste your time and go for them. However, if you spot them and they are waiting for a revive instead, that is your first green light to go and try and get the revive. The second thing you need to take into account after discerning whether your teammate is going to skip the revive or not is discern where he is on the battlefield. If he is behind any form of cover, whether it's a building, behind a broken wall, a flak gun, in a trench, or in a bunker, a mound or hill, whatever, you can try and go and get that revive because there is cover and you can duck behind something if you end up getting shot at. If the teammate is in an open hill with a very little cover, or is above you, or below you, or on the front lines, going for his revive is going to more than likely get you killed. And this is of course also contingent upon where the enemy team is as well. If they are close to your teammate, get the kill before the revive, or if you can't do that, or perhaps you don't know exactly where they are, then it's best to move on. So hopefully that little explanation helped you with reviving, and now we are on to gadgets. We're doing this a little bit different in order from the support class video. Whereas the support, there are a few different options you can run when it comes to gadgets. For medic, I feel like there are only two legitimate options to run in order to be a good medic. The syringe is a must-have no matter what, and your other gadget will either be the medic crate or the medical pack. And rifle grenades, quite honestly, aren't in the running, or excuse me, they are in the running for worst gadget in the entire game, in my opinion, along with some of the scout gadgets. And although, yes, they do damage, they won't really get you kills unless the target is already weak, and you will help your team and your score more by healing and reviving. Now it's a difficult choice on which gadget to run, the med pack or the med crate, and to answer that choice it depends on two things. It depends on what game mode you're playing and what type of medic you are. If you are playing operations, I would highly suggest running the medical crate, as you can heal a lot of people fast and get a buttload of points if you leave your crate by a bunch of friendlies. I'd run Medpack for any other major and minor game mode. Maybe you run the medical crate on frontlines because it's so concentrated, but I think overall you should run the Medpack in almost every game mode besides operations. And the reasoning for this is that so that you as the medic can run through health, or can throw health rather, at teammates and essentially forget about them and move on to the next person or focus on killing enemies. And this can save your life sometimes, since you don't have to run over to your teammates in order to heal them and drop the medical crate. But speaking of killing enemies, let's look at the weapons real quick. Now, when the game launched, the medic weapons were seen as kind of underpowered, but over some time getting acquainted with the weapons and the addition of some DLC weapons, the medic class now has some of the strongest weapons in the entire game. The Fedorov Aftermath is by far the pinnacle of the weapons in the medical class and offers the crucial lethality at medium range that a medic needs. Plus, it's full auto, which really makes it more like an assault rifle than a DMR, like most of the other weapons in the class. So I'd say that if you're looking for the easiest and most comfortable weapon to use the Fedorov. I also really happen to enjoy the sweeper variant of the M1907 SL, and it's a weapon that I initially hated, but it's really very strong, and its rate of fire dump trucks people at close to medium range. Plus, it also has a full auto capability, and I don't know, maybe I have a thing or a hard-on for full auto weapons, not sure. From there, a majority of the weapons fall into this third or fourth best slot. The General Liu is probably my pick for the most underrated weapon in the entire game. It's a 6-round DMR with a pretty nice rate of fire, and what really makes this weapon is that 6th round, because it can allow you to get double kills and offer you more room for error if you miss your shots. The Mondragon is a nice 3 to 4 shot kill weapon with 10 rounds and a decent rate of fire, and the Subsplatter is a nice, easy to use weapon, slow firing, high damage rifle with 26 rounds in it. The Subsplatter, the M1916 version I'm talking about here, not the 1906, is the weapon you'll want to use if you are a careful and methodical medic and you like picking your shots at a further, more covered, or just plain safer distance. It's a 3-shot kill up to most ranges, but I wouldn't have this as my weapon if I wanted to go guns blazing. The auto-loading .35 extended offers basically the opposite of the M1916, giving you that large clip like the Subsplatter, but fires much quicker and is lethal at shorter ranges. Now onto the weapons I would not suggest. The Cell Brigati is okay, but it's really lower tier and it does nothing better than any of the other weapons that I suggested above this, therefore not really making it worth using at all. The factory version of the auto-loading .35, as I was using in the first part of the gameplay here, is tough because I'm a fan of this weapon as a whole, and I personally think it's rather good, but in the right hands. I'm going to put this weapon in a special place because I would not suggest the weapon to you if you have trouble with accuracy, because you really need to be extremely accurate in order to use this weapon, and I may be good at Battlefield 1, but even I struggle sometimes with this weapon when I'm not playing 100%, so if I struggle with it sometimes, I'll assume you guys will as well, and I don't know how good your guys' accuracy is on a base level. So, unless you're accurate, do not use this weapon, you will get killed. Under the do not use on any circumstances list, I would put the marksman version of the auto-loading .35. I just don't like it, I don't like the way it feels, and I think it's just poopy, to be honest with you. The optical version of the Subsplatter 1916, which I am stupidly using in this part of the gameplay, and the M1907 SL Trench, and the Subsplatter 1906 as well. Most of you knew this last one was coming, but the 1906 is just so difficult to use with it only having 5 rounds. But the hard to use iron sights just seals the deal for this weapon. It's just so hard to see, especially while firing, that I wouldn't even bother using it. So the last thing I'd like to talk to you guys about is how I like to play Medic, and how I think you all should try and play Medic as well. If you were to copy me, that is. I'm not saying that it's the best idea, because I'm not perfect in any stretch of the imagination, but I tried to blend my playstyle with all the tips I suggested above to make the best guide on how to play Medic. I'd say that as a medic you should fill a kind of lurker role for your team. You need to hang back just a little bit back from the front line so that you can pick off enemies with your DMR or assault rifle, and then when needed push up to the front lines to revive a teammate, or likewise backtrack further into your own lines to revive teammates behind you. Lurking as a medic will not only keep you alive away from the front lines, but will also play into the optimal range for most of your medic class weapons. And last but not least, my suggested weapons loadout go as the following. I'd run the Fedorov Aftermat or the SL Sweeper, and the 1911 pistol with the syringe, and medical pack or medical crate. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope that it helped you out, and I hope you learned something new or useful. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like on the video, and a comment telling me what you liked or didn't like. It helps the channel out, and it helps the channel grow, and it'll help others see this video so that maybe we can stop having medics that stand over us and won't revive us. If you are new to the channel, the best way to see more videos from us is with a subscription and turning on post notifications. And we post videos like this one all the time, as well as a lot of funny moments videos that we hope you all enjoy. Next time we are going to throw a curveball at you and cover the pilot and tanker classes in one video, and Chico will be covering that video, so when that video comes out, show him some love. Hope you all are doing well. My name is Snicker Catalyst, and I will see you all on the battlefield.